Welcome to COMN-181, Open Entry, Open Exit, Digital and Physical Security of Data. This orientation will go over a little bit about the course syllabus, along with how our course is going to operate. To start off with, you can find the syllabus tab, along with everything else for this course in Blackboard. I'm going to click on Syllabus. And then here I have the basic information for the course, including the course materials required. You will need not only a textbook, but the lab manual. Most of your labs will be coming right from this manual. Meetings. It's self-paced. All material is available for you within Blackboard, and you have full access to the Open Entry Lab. You may find when your instructor is available in the OE Lab by clicking on the OE Lab schedule. And then there's a contract within AIM to sign, which will be enabling financial aid to find out about attendance and things of that nature. Your instructor is me, Robert Bernard. My office is in RTC 2330, and you can find my office hours at my website, robertbernard.com, and you can always email me. Email is my preferred method of communication, but when you do email me, please let me know what course and section that you are in. Just saying that you're my computer course certainly will confuse me, and I won't be sure how to answer your question. The goal of our course is to learn about network security, security planning, infrastructure, operational and organizational security, along with cryptography. This will help you prepare for the CompTIA Security Plus examination. This examination certainly is worthwhile taking. We meet all of the objectives of the certification. Your final exam is questions to help you prepare for the examination. But before taking it, I would recommend that you download some additional questions to learn how they're worded more than what the content of them is, and that will better prepare you to sit for the certification exam. Assignments. They must be posted to Blackboard to receive any credit. Emailed assignments are just not accepted. They get lost. It doesn't work. This is an open entry class, so you do have the option of doing assignments when it is convenient for you. However, there are benchmarks within our course, so I will explain those further down. So there are some due dates within the course. This is to keep you from procrastinating to the end, rushing to do the work, and doing poorly on it, or not learning anything. So the benchmarks are there for you, and they've proven to be successful. The students with the largest problem on those are those that don't watch or attend an orientation and don't learn about the benchmarks. They end up getting many zeros before they realize what is going on. It would not be fair to the remainder of the class who is meeting benchmarks and is learning at a reasonable rate that I give them extensions on anything, so the zeros must stand. Okay, I list out our lab activities and what we'll be doing in the class. We have a total of 900 points, and you can see the distribution. I used a pretty standard scale for Mott. However, there is no rounding, so an 84.99999% is still 84%, not an 85. Late policy. There are due dates in this class. All assignments are due by the stated due date. No late assignments will be accepted. Please review the course schedule, which is below. Failure to meet the due dates will result in zeros being entered for the missed assignments. There will be no exceptions for this. So the computer crashing, your dog peeing on your USB device, whatever it is, that doesn't work. Make sure you work ahead. This is for your benefit, not for mine. I want to make sure that you learn this material at a reasonable rate. If you need to withdraw, please contact the registrar. You do not need to contact me. However, I would prefer if you did, just so I can know what's going on in your life and if there's anything that we can do to help you be successful in the class. NS grades are given to students that do not show up for this class or at the sole discretion of your instructor. Financial aid, I will not claim to know anything about financial aid, so I give you the telephone number there. Incompletes. They're not given in this course. The history has proven to me that students do not do well with incompletes, and it gives them an unfair advantage over students that did complete the material on time. Cheating. You're encouraged to work with your peers. There have been some groups that have done study groups, or I'll notice they work together in the open entry lab and working on their server assignments. That works excellent. I highly recommend that. Just make sure that you don't give them files or give them screen prints, things of that nature, because then that's cheating, not just working together. Attendance. There's a quiz each week. That's how I take attendance. So make sure you look at the due dates for each quiz. I have to submit attendance to the college. It's for federal purposes. I cannot falsify that. I certainly do not want to commit fraud against the federal government. And I really love my job, so I want to keep it. Make sure you take the quiz. If you take them early, that is quite all right. So the goal would be to take the quiz before the due date. Software. Overall, for the software, Microsoft Office, I think, is pretty standard for your classes in college. We also use virtual servers, and we provide you with a link to that in Blackboard. You will actually have two different systems within VMware. One is a workstation, and the other is a server. So you'll be able to access those assignments and servers. Can you do this work from home? Well, yes. You can work on your servers from home. However, we cannot be responsible for the speed or reliability of your virtual servers from home. So proceed with caution. Explaining that something's late because you couldn't get your server to work from home doesn't work. The college does do their best to provide you with the service and enable these to work from home, but I really have to tell you, it isn't perfect. The virtual servers work much, much better from campus, and in the OE lab you also have the assistance of your instructor and your peers taking the class. A disclaimer that I put on every syllabus is, hey, this might change. I've never made a change that wasn't beneficial to students. It's because something happened. Life happens. What I do is I propose a vote to students. I'll throw it out to Blackboard in this scenario since we don't meet face-to-face, and set a due date for when I want votes in response. Majority rules. Okay, instructor expectations. All assignments are submitted on time. Why? Well, this is a pretty sticky point with me. I host a college advisory panel that includes business leaders from our community. I also serve as a member on several high school advisory groups. And I'm hearing the same thing from employers. Even at national conferences, Security one was actually the last one where I heard this. And it was, employers are saying employees are not taking responsibility for their actions. They miss work, they show up late, and they're always full of excuses. As an educator, I have to respond by saying, okay, this is what I'm doing to help you. That would be making you accountable for your actions, making you submit assignments on time. And will missing one assignment make you fail our class? No. You just don't want to miss more than one because it's certainly going to have a negative effect on your grade. Just like showing up for work 5 minutes late. Most likely you're not going to get fired the first time. However, there always are negative consequences. So that's my response to these employers that are seeking help. Next one. You do not procrastinate and are proactive with your studies. Alright, this is still kind of getting on the same topic, but there's a huge difference between learning and submitting your work for a grade. The option is yours. You're the student and you really are in control of your learning. You can turn in stuff for a grade, but make sure that you understand it. You have the opportunity of a lifetime to be going to college. Make sure you take advantage of that. Learn the material. Ask the questions. That way you'll have a firm understanding of it, and when things change, which we all know they will in technology, you'll have that foundation and you'll be able to build up. Next one. Treat everyone as a person. Why? Well, it's the right thing to do. Sometimes we forget that there's a human on the other end of the keyboard. Please keep that in mind when communicating with others on the web. We all make mistakes, especially me, your instructor, or suffer from communication problems. Always be patient and do your best. I've seen students interact with each other online through forums, and it's clear that they're forgetting there's a person on the other end that is either going to get hurt or bothered by a comment, or they're going to fight back. So make sure you consider and be courteous in your communications. Same thing with your instructor. I'm a person, so please remember that when you get upset by a grade or whatever the case is, ask your questions politely and professionally, and of course I will always give you a professional response. And sometimes, yes, I make mistakes. I will gladly correct them and admit that I made an error. I have no problem doing that. Alright, next one. Your instructor will have very high expectations of you. Yes, you're most likely in college to start a career and further your knowledge of information technology. It is my job to prepare you for this challenging career. I also place a high value on a college degree. These credentials are earned rather than given. So might you find that some assignments are difficult, or might you find that I respond to your question with a question? Absolutely. The intent, though, is to build you up and make you the best that you can be and the best candidate out there for employers. Alright, below that is the schedule. So this includes what is due and when. So you can see that units 1 through 3 have a due date. Work must be done by that final date. I also give you an attendance date. So meaning the first attendance date is when the first quiz should be taken. You could take multiple quizzes by that date. And I recommend you submit all of your other work on that date, but I also have the final due date for when I enter zeros. And that should all make sense on the schedule there. Alright, there's a syllabus quiz as well. Since I may not see you face to face, I just ask that you take a syllabus quiz. It's worth 5 points, and just to make sure that you understand the class policies. It also explains my thoughts on things, so if you don't understand the policy, I explain why after you get your grade. Or it raises other questions for you to ask me. You can take the syllabus quiz as many times as you like until you get 100%. The reason is because when you go to our second section, which is learning units, they're not available until you successfully pass the quiz. I'll pause our recording, take the quiz, and then show you learning units. Okay, I passed my own quiz with 100% accuracy. Now learning units is visible. I'll click on that. And here's your units within the class. Each one is divided out into a folder. So we'll click on the first one. There's an overview. It explains the tasks and point values associated. So for example, the first one is read the chapter in your text, review the chapter presentation, complete chapter quiz, answer comprehension question, complete lab assignment, and then total unit points. So you know where your grade is coming from and what you need to do. Below that, it'll tell you, hey, read chapter 1 in your text. There's a link to the chapter 1 presentation. The quiz, which that is how you get your attendance for the week, by taking the quiz, so do that first. The comprehension question. So in a Word document, define information security and its importance. And I'll even give you a grading rubric on that. Information security is defined. Okay? It's worth a total of 20 points, so there's 0, 5, or 10 on whether it's defined. Importance of information security is explained in non-technical terminology. And I like that for a couple reasons. Number one, it makes sure that you understand it and that you can explain it to others using that non-technical jargon. So that's where you earn points. Next, assignment is attached and submitted in DOC, DOCX, or RTF format. it's worth nothing or negative 20 points. Meaning, if you submit a Microsoft Works project, you get 0 on the assignment. I circle negative 20 and it's done. Why? I can't open your file. So make sure you submit it in a Word document. Assignment is at least one half page in length. And then I do 0, negative 10, or negative 20. Why are those in the negatives? Well, they're expectations of you. I expect you to do those things. And over time I've learned that some students don't meet up with simple expectations. So now I've defined what will happen if you don't. It's not necessarily to be punitive in any means. It's just more as a reminder. Then the lab. So you go in a Word document, submit the following items. And these are, I actually give them to you. There's others where it'll be go in your lab manual and put screen prints here based on what you did to a server. To submit the assignments, the comprehension question or the lab, you click on the underlined word, and it'll take you to the submission box. You don't put anything in the submission or comments. You just browse your computer, select it, and at the end click submit. Do not click save as draft because that's just a cruel joke on me. In the Grade Center it shows a lock, so I know you have something up there, but Blackboard would not let me into it in that scenario. So make sure you click submit. Clicking submit will put an exclamation in the Grade Center, which tells me that it needs to be graded. It tells you that it's there. You can click on that exclamation point and see what you submitted in case you are worried that you did something incorrectly. And then once I grade, you'll see a score in its place, and then you can view comments from me if you earned less than perfect credit. All learning units pretty much follow the same process. There's a final exam in the class, which is based on questions, multiple choice, and hopes to hopefully simulate the Security Plus examination. Under Discuss, this form will be updated by your instructor with helpful notes about the course and problems that you may incur. So if you want to use a discussion form, kind of like a peer help form, that's an option. And I'll also throw things up there as they come. So we have one up there already from a previous semester. Let's see. Network settings on the virtual machine. Students would end up clearing out their network settings and then not knowing what they are. Well, if you go there, there's your answer. That'll tell you what you need to do. Current events. I like to post current event articles up here, and I hope that you will as well. Post whatever you find to be interesting. There's always some neat news articles relating to IT or to security, and it's imperative that we keep up to date as IT professionals. Virtual machine information. That'll show you how to get onto your virtual machines. Instructor contact information, so you know how to contact me, along with my teaching schedule. And my grades. My role won't show the Grade Center, but you'll be able to see the Grade Center for the course. So that concludes our orientation on digital and physical security of data. The goal is to get started on Unit 1 as soon as possible. Always keep aware of the course schedule. Mostly in regards to the attendance dates, because I know that many of you have financial aid and it's tied directly to attendance. And those benchmarks, which is roughly every 3 weeks. I do have an expectation of material to be submitted and have penalties if you do not. I hope you all have an enjoyable learning environment, and if you were not able to attend a face-to-face orientation, stop by the lab and introduce yourself.